What you wear changes your brain more than you realize. There's real neuroscience behind it, and you can start using it on purpose. Most people treat clothing like decoration, something you throw on before you leave the house. But your brain doesn't read it that way. Your brain reads clothing as information. Information about who you are today. Information about what role you're stepping into. Information about how the world is likely to treat you. And it quietly adjusts your thoughts, your posture, your focus, and even your hormone levels based on what it sees. Scientists have a name for this. They call it enclothed cognition. It's the discovery that the clothes you put on don't just cover your body. They shape the mind wearing them, and once you understand how it works, you can stop dressing by accident. You can start dressing on purpose, like someone who knows the switches they're flipping. Let's break down what's actually happening in your brain when you get dressed, and how to use it in a way that's calm, practical, and surprisingly powerful. The first thing to understand is that your brain runs on prediction. Every second it's guessing who you are and what's about to happen next, using every clue it can find. Your clothes are one of the strongest, most constant clues in your field of vision. You see your sleeves, your shoes, your reflection dozens of times a day without noticing. Each glance is a tiny signal to the brain. This is the version of me operating today, and the brain quietly builds your behavior around that signal. This is where the prefrontal cortex comes in, the part of the brain right behind your forehead that handles focus, decisions, and self-control. When your clothing matches a role your brain associates with competence, your prefrontal cortex leans in. You concentrate harder without trying. Your decisions get a little sharper. Researchers have seen this in simple experiments. People wearing what they were told was a doctor's coat performed better on attention tasks than people wearing the same coat labeled as a painter's coat. Same fabric, same buttons, different meaning, different brain. That's the strange part. The physical object didn't change anything. The story your brain attached to it did. And your brain is attaching stories to your clothes all day long, whether you're paying attention or not. Now let's talk about the second system your outfit hijacks, your body's stress and confidence chemistry. Your posture and your clothing are locked together. Stiff, ill-fitting, uncomfortable clothes push your shoulders forward and your breath shallow. Clothes that fit and feel like you let your spine lengthen and your ribs open. That single shift changes the signals your brain receives from your body. When your posture opens, cortisol, the main stress hormone, tends to drop. When your posture collapses, cortisol tends to climb. Your outfit is quietly casting one vote or the other every hour. So the shirt that's a size too tight isn't just uncomfortable, it's a low, steady stress signal you've agreed to wear for 8 hours. Here's where it gets more interesting. Your brain also uses clothing as a context cue for memory and behavior. Neuroscience calls this state-dependent processing. Your brain files different behaviors under different contexts, and clothing is one of the biggest context markers you own. That's why changing out of work clothes at the end of the day genuinely helps you unwind. You're not being dramatic. You're giving your nervous system permission to close a mental tab. And it's why athletes have pre-game outfits, surgeons have scrubs, and writers often have a specific hoodie or shirt they only wear when they're working. They're not superstitious. They're using clothing as a switch. The switch tells the brain, we're in this mode now. Focus mode, rest mode, social mode, deep work mode. And once your brain learns that association, the outfit starts pulling the mental state towards you automatically. Put it on and the mindset follows. This is enclothed cognition in daily life, not magic. Just a very old brain using every clue it can to decide who you are right now. Now here's the part most people miss. Your brain doesn't just react to how your clothes look on you. It reacts to how you believe other people are reading them. Neuroscientists sometimes call this social mirroring. A large chunk of your brain is dedicated to predicting how others perceive you and adjusting your behavior to fit. When you believe you look sharp, your brain relaxes about being judged. Attention that was quietly guarding your image gets freed up for the actual task in front of you. When you believe you look off, that guarding process runs in the background all day. You're technically working, but a slice of your bandwidth is stuck monitoring how you're being seen. That's why the right outfit can make a hard meeting feel easier, and the wrong outfit can make an easy one feel exhausting. The clothes didn't change the meeting. They changed how much of your brain was available for it. And here's a small warning most people don't hear. Comfort is not the same as alignment. Sweatpants feel great, but if you wear them into a moment that requires focus, your brain gets a mixed signal. It's being asked to concentrate while wearing the uniform of rest. Part of it stays half asleep, waiting for the nap that the outfit promised. This is why working from home in pajamas often feels productive for an hour and foggy after that. The clothing keeps loading for rest while you keep asking for focus. The fix isn't to dress up, it's to dress on purpose, to match the outfit to the mental state you're trying to build. Which brings us to the practical part. If clothing is a switch, how do you use it deliberately without turning your life into a costume? Start with 3 modes. Not 30 outfits, just 3 clear categories: focus, rest, and connection. Focus is what you wear when you need your prefrontal cortex sharp. For work, deep thinking, hard conversations, it should feel a little more structured than pajamas, even at home. Rest is what you wear when the day is done and you're telling your nervous system to power down. Soft, warm, unambiguous. This outfit's only job is to say, we're safe, we're finished. Connection is what you wear when you're going to be around people. Dinners, friends, dates, gatherings. It should feel like you, but a slightly more open, curious version of you. Once you tag your clothes into these 3 modes, your brain starts building strong associations fast. Within a couple of weeks, putting on the focus outfit will start pulling focus toward you before you even sit down. Here's the practical move for tomorrow. Before you get dressed, ask one question: what am I asking my brain to do today? Then, choose the outfit that quietly agrees with that answer instead of the one that argues with it. Notice what changes. Notice how meetings feel. Notice how tired you are at the end of the day. Notice how quickly you can shift out of work mode when you get home. You'll start to feel how much of your daily mental state was being decided by an outfit you picked in the dark. There's one more layer worth knowing. Your brain has a network called the default mode network, the quiet background system that runs when your mind is wandering, telling you the story of who you are. Clothing feeds this network constantly. Every glance at your sleeve is a whisper of identity. This is the person I am. This is what she can do. This is what he's about. Over months and years, those whispers stack. The person you dress like is, slowly, the person you start believing you are. That's not vanity. That's neuroplasticity. Your brain rewiring itself around the identity it keeps being shown, which means dressing on purpose isn't shallow. It's one of the quiet, daily tools you have for shaping the person your brain is building. So here's the useful idea to walk away with. Your clothes are not just fabric, they're instructions to your nervous system, cast dozens of times a day telling your brain who to be. You can leave those instructions on autopilot and let old habits, old moods, and old versions of you keep dressing you in the morning. Or you can take the pen back. Ask yourself, honestly, when you look at your closet tonight, which mode does most of my wardrobe vote for? Focus, rest, or connection? Which one is missing? Which one am I quietly starving? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and the patterns are always interesting. If you want to feel this shift even faster, watch the one on morning routines that actually rewire the brain. It pairs with this in a way you'll feel by the weekend. And if this is the kind of thinking you want more of, calm, practical, brain-based, no hype, subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos every week, one small habit at a time, each one built to make your brain a little sharper and your life a little clearer. Because in the end, your brain is always being dressed by something. The only question is whether it's being dressed by you.